Every one of us at some point feels like life is spinning out of control. Whether it's a lost job, a broken relationship, or just the chaotic pace of daily routines, these moments can leave us feeling helpless and overwhelmed. But what if I told you there's a way to not just survive these challenges, to thrive amidst them? Today, we're going to dive deep into the wisdom of Seneca, an ancient philosopher who mastered the art of maintaining peace in a tumultuous world. His teachings on Stoicism aren't just philosophical musings. They are practical strategies that have powered leaders, thinkers, and individuals through the ages and can empower us today. By the end of this video, you'll have a toolkit of Stoic principles to help you cultivate mental toughness and reclaim control over your emotions and reactions, no matter what life throws your way. Stick with me, and let's explore how these ancient secrets can be applied to modern life for a calmer, more centered existence. If you appreciate what we're doing here and want to support the channel, a simple, free favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button. It helps us keep bringing content like this to you. Also, I encourage you not to skip any part of the video. If you're here, you're not like the majority. You're someone who sees the value in diving deep. So consider yourself an exception. Focus on one activity. Seneca's wisdom, to be everywhere is to be nowhere, captures a crucial principle that is often overlooked in our modern rush to do more and be more. The idea of focusing on one activity at a time is central to Stoic philosophy and can transform how we approach our daily tasks. In a world that celebrates the myth of multitasking, we need to pause and reconsider the effectiveness of this approach. When we try to multitask, we're spreading our attention thin, which can lead to increased mistakes and decreased quality of work. Marcus Aurelius, another revered Stoic philosopher, echoed this sentiment when he advised, "Concentrate every minute like a Roman, like a man, on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, tenderly, willingly, with justice, and on freeing yourself from all other distraction." This focus is not just about improving productivity, it's about cultivating a quality of mind that values depth over breadth. Focusing on one activity at a time allows us to immerse ourselves fully in the task at hand, whether it's a professional assignment, personal project, or a meaningful conversation. This kind of deep work fosters a greater sense of accomplishment and satisfaction. Plato might argue that this singular focus helps us access a higher form of beauty and truth in our work, as it allows us to give our best effort and to create something that resonates with the ideals of goodness and excellence. Moreover, the psychological benefits of focusing on one task at a time are significant. It reduces the cognitive load on our brains, minimizing stress, and enhancing our decision-making capability. Aristotle, who valued the development of virtues through habitual right action, would likely support this practice as a way to develop the virtue of temperance, or self-control, helping us regulate our desire for distraction and immediate gratification. In practicing this focused approach, we not only follow the footsteps of Stoic philosophers, but also align with the teachings of modern psychology, which suggests that our brains are not wired to handle multiple complex tasks simultaneously. The quality of our work and our life improves when we give our full attention to one thing at a time. Socrates' method of deep inquiry and dialogue, focusing intensely on one subject to the exclusion of all else, exemplifies how powerful this method can be. Embracing this Stoic principle doesn't just make us more productive, it makes us more thoughtful, peaceful, and balanced individuals. It is a rejection of the chaos of modern multitasking and an embrace of a more deliberate and purposeful mode of being. As we practice this, we might find that not only do our results improve, but so does our overall well-being. Practice philosophy to control your impulses. Seneca's insight, "All the greatest torments are the result of an undisciplined mind," reveals a profound truth about human nature. Our unchecked impulses can be the source of immense emotional turmoil and suffering. Stoicism, which emphasizes the importance of self-control and rational thinking, provides us with a framework to address this challenge. Rather than suppressing our emotions, which is neither healthy nor sustainable, Stoicism teaches us to understand and manage them. The process of managing our impulses begins with self-awareness. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, famously said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This statement highlights the necessity of self-mastery in achieving true freedom and happiness. By becoming more aware of our impulses and the triggers that set them off, we are better equipped to handle them rationally. This doesn't mean denying our feelings, but understanding them deeply enough that we can respond in ways that align with our long-term goals and values. In the realm of philosophy, Aristotle also spoke about the importance of moderating our impulses through the development of virtues. He believed that virtue lies in finding the balance between excess and deficiency, a concept known as the golden mean. For instance, courage is the mean between recklessness and cowardice. Applying this to impulse control, we seek to find a balance between spontaneous reactions and complete inaction, aiming for thoughtful, deliberate responses that reflect our best selves. Moreover, practicing philosophy as a guide to controlling our impulses involves cultivating rational thought as a habit. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on the importance of aligning thoughts with rational and virtuous principles. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This perspective encourages us to focus on our internal responses rather than external provocations, thereby gaining greater control over our impulses. By critically examining our impulses with the aid of philosophical wisdom, we can begin to make choices that are not dictated by fleeting emotions, but are the result of careful thought and reflection. This practice not only strengthens our mental fortitude, but also helps us live more harmoniously with our values. It leads to a life where decisions are made not in the heat of the moment, but with a clear, composed mind. The Stoic approach to impulse control is about cultivating an inner dialogue that constantly questions and assesses our instinctive reaction. It is about making philosophy not just a subject we study, but a way we live our lives, allowing us to rise above immediate gratifications and achieve a deeper sense of satisfaction and purpose. This disciplined approach to managing impulses is not just about avoiding emotional pain. It's about forging a path to a more thoughtful, fulfilling life. De Prepared Seneca, which is all about being prepared, famously said, "Rehearse them in your mind. Exile, torture, war, shipwreck, all the terms of our human lot should be before our eyes." This advice might sound a bit dramatic at first. After all, not all of us are navigating the high seas or entering battle. But what Seneca is getting at here is the concept of mental preparation for life's inevitable challenges. Cornerstone of Stoic resilience. Stoicism teaches us to anticipate and mentally rehearse for the worst, not to fill us with dread, but to diminish the shock and pain when difficulties do occur. This practice is known as premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. It's about visualizing the most challenging scenarios, not to worry obsessively, but to be emotionally and mentally equipped when life throws its curveballs. Think about it this way. Athletes practice under tough conditions to prepare for the strain of actual competition. Similarly, by mentally rehearsing challenging situations, we train our minds to handle stress and adversity with less panic and more poise. This Stoic practice helps us appreciate our current state. When we realize how much worse things could be, our everyday problems seem less overwhelming. Applying this Stoicism doesn't mean living in constant anxiety about what could go wrong. Rather, it's about having a realistic acknowledgement of potential negative outcomes. For example, if you're worried about job security, instead of spiraling into fear, you could start preparing by updating your resume, enhancing your skills, or even exploring alternate career paths. This way, if the worst were to happen, you're not caught off guard and are better positioned to handle the situation. Moreover, this principle extends beyond personal crises. It's about maintaining a level of readiness for any significant changes in our lives, from financial instability, personal loss. By staying prepared, we not only shield ourselves from the initial shock, but also quicken our recovery and adjustment period. We become less reactive and more responsive. Subtle but powerful shift in handling life's uncertainties. Seneca's counsel helps us forge a mindset where we're not overwhelmed by adversity, but are fortified against it. This mental readiness is not about expecting the worst, but about being prepared to deal with any situation, thereby enhancing our resilience and overall mental toughness. Through this Stoic lens, we see not just the potential for loss or hardship, but also the opportunity for growth and renewal in every challenge. Voluntarily embrace hardships. Another profound insight from Seneca. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. This idea is at the heart of Stoicism and speaks to a practice that can seem counterintuitive at first. Voluntarily embracing hardships. It's about deliberately choosing to experience discomfort, not as a form of punishment, but as a way to fortify our mental resilience and expand our capacity to handle life's inevitable challenges. Think about what it means to voluntarily embrace hardships. It's like an athlete who trains under harsh conditions to prepare for a competition. The athlete understands that by pushing the limits in a controlled environment, they're better prepared for the stresses of the actual event. Similarly, by choosing to face difficulties head-on, whether that's taking on a challenging project at work, speaking up in public, or even opting to live more simply, we enhance our ability to cope with real adversity. We build mental toughness and become less dependent on external comfort. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and a Stoic philosopher, often reminded himself that life is short and that enduring hardship with grace is a part of our human experience. He believed that facing difficulties not only prepares us for future challenges, but also sharpens our character and deepens our appreciation for life. By practicing this, we're not just preparing for the worst, we're also learning to thrive in less than ideal circumstances. When we make a habit of stepping outside our comfort zone, we discover strengths we didn't know we had, and our confidence grows. For instance, consider the simple act of fasting or exercising in challenging conditions. These voluntary hardships teach us to be comfortable with discomfort and to realize that we can endure more than we might have thought. This realization can be incredibly empowering, transforming our mindset from one of avoidance and fear to one of courage and resilience. Seneca's advice to embrace hardship voluntarily is about more than just building strength. It's about cultivating an inner resilience that doesn't just survive adversity, but grows stronger through it. This Stoic practice is a powerful antidote to the fragility that comes from always seeking comfort and avoiding pain. By choosing to engage with life's challenges proactively, we can transform them from obstacles into opportunities for growth and self-improvement. Celebrate how far you've come. Seneca's teaching, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor," is a potent reminder to practice gratitude and to celebrate the progress we've made in our lives, rather than constantly yearning for more. This Stoic principle encourages us to take stock of our accomplishments and to appreciate the journey, rather than fixate on the destination. In a world that often pushes us to strive for more success, more wealth, more recognition, Seneca's wisdom is a call to pause and recognize the abundance we already have. Gratitude is a powerful practice in the Stoic tradition, one that shifts our focus from what we lack to what we possess. By celebrating how far we've come, we acknowledge our growth, obstacles we've overcome, and the progress we've made. This not only fosters a sense of contentment, but also strengthens our resolve to keep moving forward. Incorporating gratitude into our daily lives can take many forms. It might be as simple as reflecting on the challenges we've faced, how we've grown from them, or it could involve taking time to appreciate the people and experiences that have enriched our lives. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the transience of life in his meditations, urging himself to live with gratitude for each moment and to cherish the progress he had made. This Stoic practice of celebrating progress helps to combat the pervasive sense of inadequacy that can arise from constantly comparing ourselves to others or to an idealized version of success. Instead of feeling perpetually dissatisfied, we learn to recognize our worth and to find joy in our journey. Moreover, celebrating progress is not about becoming complacent, but about recognizing the value of each step forward. It's about acknowledging that the pursuit of excellence and personal growth is a marathon, not a sprint, and that every small victory is worth honoring. Seneca's reminder to focus on what we have rather than what we lack is a call to cultivate a mindset of abundance. By celebrating how far we've come, we build a foundation of self-respect and confidence, propels us forward. This Stoic approach teaches us that true wealth is not in accumulating more, but in appreciating the richness of our experiences and the growth we've achieved along the way. Understand the limitations of human nature. Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher, reminds us that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. This powerful statement highlights the crucial Stoic principle of understanding the limitations of human nature. Our minds have an incredible capacity to imagine scenarios, often leading us into unnecessary suffering through worry, fear, and anxiety about events that have not, may never occur. The practice of Stoicism involves recognizing this tendency and learning to differentiate between real and imagined problems. By doing so, we can prevent ourselves from being overwhelmed by fears that are more a product of our imagination than of reality. This understanding of human nature's limitations is about acknowledging that while our minds are powerful tools, they can also lead us astray. Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic philosopher, wrote extensively about the importance of focusing on the present moment and dealing with challenges as they arise, rather than allowing our minds to spiral into worst-case scenarios. In practical terms, this Stoic principle teaches us to be mindful of our thoughts and to challenge the validity of our fears. Are we worrying about something that is within our control, or are we allowing our imagination to conjure up problems that don't actually exist? By asking these questions, we can ground ourselves in reality and reduce the unnecessary mental suffering that comes from living too much in the realm of what-ifs. Seneca's wisdom encourages us to accept the limitations of our human nature, including our tendency to imagine and worry, and to counteract this with rational thought and mindfulness. This approach not only helps us maintain a clearer, more focused mind, but also enhances our resilience against the inevitable challenges life presents. Reflect on mortality. Seneca's meditation on mortality is captured in his words. Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day. The one who puts the finishing touches on their life each day is never short of time. This profound reflection brings us to the Stoic practice of memento mori, or the contemplation of death, which is central to living a meaningful and intentional life. Reflecting on mortality is not about dwelling on death in a morbid way. Rather, it's about using the awareness of our finite existence to sharpen our focus on what truly matters. The Stoics believe that by keeping the inevitability of death in mind, we can better prioritize our actions and values, leading a life that is not just about existing, but about truly living. Incorporating this reflection into our daily lives encourages us to live with purpose and urgency, making the most of the time we have. It's a reminder that life is fleeting, and that we should not postpone meaningful actions or wait for some future time to begin living fully. By embracing this Stoic principle, we cultivate a sense of urgency in pursuing our goals, nurturing our relationships, and living in alignment with our values. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, frequently reflected on the impermanence of life, using this awareness to guide his decisions and action. He urged himself to act as if each day were his last, to live with integrity, and to focus on what truly matters. This reflection on mortality helps to strip away the trivial concerns that often distract us, allowing us to focus on the essentials. Reflecting on mortality also brings a sense of peace and acceptance. By acknowledging that life is finite, we can let go of the fear of death and instead embrace each moment as a gift. This Stoic practice is not about fearing the end, but about enhancing the quality of the time we have. It's a call to live with intention, to make each day count, and to approach life with a sense of gratitude and purpose. In conclusion, the Stoic practice of reflecting on mortality serves as a powerful tool for living a meaningful life. It reminds us that our time is limited and that we should not waste it on trivial matters or procrastination. By keeping this awareness at the forefront of our minds, we can live with greater clarity, purpose, and fulfillment. And there you have it, the 7 ways how to get ahead of 98% of people. Stoicism. Each of these principles can be applied to our daily lives to build mental toughness, resilience, and a greater sense of control over our emotions and reactions. By embracing these Stoic practices, we can navigate the challenges of life with a calmer, more centered mindset, and ultimately live a more fulfilling and purposeful life. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with others who might benefit from these insights. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay strong, stay stoic.